gets crazy. So loud. It gets crazy. So loud. It gets crazy. I'll help you through
Y'all, it was just us counting down, and that just really threw us off. But welcome everybody to another episode of On the Other Side of Mommin'. Yeah. Okay, I gotta get back focused. You threw me off, Shana. It's your fault. But welcome. I'm your host, T Moore, and just in case you're new here, like I said, I'm the host of this show On the Other Side of Mommin', because there's more to this mom life where we talk about more than just motherhood, because us mamas are very important to the family. And it seems like we have been left out the conversation. It seems like we talk about these kids all the time. But here, sis, you just come on in, take your shoes off, get comfortable, because we talk to you and try to fill your cup up. So this is what I do. This is like your cup of tea with tea. Yes, I love it. I just thought of that. Right, you know? So today I have an amazing guest with me. Another, of course, y'all know, not that everybody's my friend, but just so far that everybody who wants to be on my show happens to be my friend. So I have invited another one of my friends to come on, and she's just so awesome, so sweet, so kind. One of my writing partners, agency, siblings, or I guess cousins, right? Because we have different agents. So I guess you'd be my cousin, kind of, but we sisters, but it's okay. And so Shana is amazing, and I cannot wait to dive into this episode. I don't think it's going to be as heavy as y'all may think it is, because we're talking about the other side of divorce today. But I think there'll be lots of laughs and giggles, because y'all know I don't have good sense sometimes. And so I can't help it. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Shana onto the show. Shana, hand claps.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. So tell the people, because listen, I didn't even want to go down the rest, because like y'all, she's so dope. Like she's like a screenwriter, but then she's like an author, and then she be out here like fighting people. So like if you're watching us on YouTube and you see she has this shirt on that says like different chokes, listen. Okay, she's taken some steps to be able to do stuff to protect herself. What I'm going to say,
it's the other side of divorce.
The other side of divorce. This is what came from the other side of it.
Came out of it.
But tell these mamas out here, like, who you are, what do you do, like, yeah, who are you? I mean, I know who you are, but who are you?
Yeah. So my name is Shana, like you said, and I write. Identify with writing, but also mom of two daughters. They're teens now. Middle child sibling, so I have that whole thing going for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that too.
Oh, we're always neglected and ignored, right? Like,
oh no, the middle child syndrome,
right? Yeah, it's strong in me. It's very strong in me. But yeah, like just writing is my passion. I'm able to do it full time now, raising the kids full time. They're not, I know you have littles, so I graduated from that, but been there, done that.
Why do people with older kids always throw that part in there? Like y'all just never can just like leave that.
I know.
Right there. Like you guys be like, y'all feel bad that I still have these badass kids running around terrorizing me.
It's like
crying for everything.
So we're like, we're not going back.
It's like y'all, it feels, that's exactly what it is. It's just like y'all feel better than us. Like, oh yeah, I remember that stage. Yeah, I remember when my child like used to like cry because like they couldn't like poop, and they just like started crying, or like, and it's just like, so like,
I was like, girl,
what do you want from me?
Drink water. I can't help you. Like,
is that what it is now? Like, are we elevated?
Yeah, that's where we're at now. I remember those days, holding their hand, like, okay, you can do this, babe. It's like they're giving birth without it sounding weird. Like you got this, breathe through it. You can, we had a lot. and now it's like,
Yeah.
drink your water. That solves everything.
Drink some water. I actually had a situation with one of my kids. I won't say which kid it was in the event they listen to this one day, but they might remember the story of us being in Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was me coaching them through it. Like, it's okay, honey. You just got to breathe. Don't push too hard, but it will come out when it's ready. I love talking about poop, by the way. Poop.
I'm so glad that's universal. Yeah.
Well, listen, my middle child,
Mm-hmm.
she enjoys talking to me about vaginas and booties. And another girlfriend and I were talking, and I said to her, she said something smart. And I was like, I hope your food tastes like trash booty, like just booty juice, like all the booties. And then she's like, and you wonder why your kids talk about booties all the time. But now I know it's me. I'm the problem.
We're the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
a little light bulb moment. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, it's me. Okay, so before we get into it, y'all know I like to do a little mom-spirational quote. And I told Shana I wasn't going to give it to her beforehand because I want her to give me like real-time reaction. But today's quote comes from Worthy. They're over on Instagram. And the quote that I resonated the most with today was, there's a big difference between giving up and starting over.
Ooh.
Because that applies to so many areas of life.
Yeah, it does.
So many. So when we're talking about that here, since we're talking about the other side of divorce, for you, when you hear that, how does it hit you? Because it seems like it hits you kind of hard. Like
that, you're reminding me. That's one of the things. Tea. Woo. Just went right in.
Listen, this is where we come. I told you, get comfortable. We go there.
I'm gonna drink my tea. No.
Drink your tea. Yeah, drink your tea, girl. I got water today. I drank my tea already.
It's kind of cold out there, but that's a good one, T. That's a really good one because in trying to decide if I'm going to go through with this divorce, I felt like I was giving up. And most people, they all say, most people, when you get married, you're not planning for your divorce.
Right.
You're planning for your forever after, whether
Correct.
it's happy or not, there'll be some ups and downs, but that one was a big one. I had to come to terms with, like, this isn't giving up. And it was a big internal battle because I'm not a quitter. And it might take me 30 years, 20 years, being in the publishing industry, that takes forever.
Right.
You can't quit or you won't get there. And I feel like that was marriage. Like I was in there for the long haul and never had to battle that idea that I wasn't quitting, that I was putting me first, putting the kids first. And it was the start of a new journey. So, yeah.
Question. Because when you say that, do you think, because another girlfriend and I were talking about that too, like, we go into marriage and like I said, we don't go into it with the mindset of this is the start. Because that's a waste of money, especially if you have a wedding. Like, who's signing up for that? Like, but then like life starts to happen. And then, I don't know did you grow up in the church coming up?
It was like, it wasn't consistent, but yeah, I've been in choirs and it just wasn't consistent, but I've always had, God there.
Had that background. Yeah. And I, so like kind of for me growing up in church and kind of growing up in that setting, I think for like some women out there who may identify with any type of religious background, there is this stigma attached to being divorced. And I know, especially like in the Christian community, we deal with a lot of, how can I say it? Guilt and shame. Yeah. Judgment on if you're married, like if you're leaving your marriage and like you're getting this divorce, like you have failed. You failed God. You failed the people who came and saw you get married and these vows and and so I think there's so much religious tied to it when it comes to divorce and just society expectations. Like, what do you think about like that? Like, do you think that played a part in your decision, like prior to like saying, okay, I'm going to go through with this no matter what?
It definitely did. More so than I even realized, because I always thought I was independent, making my own choices, doing my own thing. And then next thing you know, like there was a time prior to actually following through with it. We had a big blow up fight, and we were talking about divorce. And it's the first time, because we also, we've been through therapy and stuff like that, because no couple is perfect. But one of the things was, don't throw out the divorce word, the D word, like, unless
that's a big one.
That's a big one. So this was like, I meant it. And it was, to give you a little context, it was probably 4 to 5 years before we actually got divorced, just to show you how long we can string ourselves along, basically. And so I remember my brother, he should be a pastor, honestly. He should be. But I remember talking to him, and he's like, Shana, no, this isn't the vows you took. This, da, 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 da. And I'm not blaming him, but I allowed myself to get all the evidence I needed to not get to be talked out of going through with the divorce, And so thinking on societal pressure versus tuning into me, what I needed, what I felt like my kids needed, and then tuning the rest out, like what's between me and God right now, not between me and everybody else, and then God, I think of that interpretation should be. So
and I think
huge role.
Because I think people, and not that this trying to go off the religious path or anything, but I think about when people think about God, they think about like this big overbearing deity that's just like, I'm gonna get you. I don't know why I did that voice, but that's just, I feel like that's what God sounds like. That's exactly what it is. I'm like, but I don't think I would serve a God that sounds like that either. But like when I think about that, like because of like who he is, he's loving, he's kind, he's forgiving. I don't think he would view anyone, but whatever decision, because he gives us free will. You get free will to choose if you want to choose salvation. You get free will to do whatever you want to do. So I use that loosely, so don't come for me, saints. I know my word. Don't play with me. But what I mean by that is just you get to decide that. And I don't think someone else, I think it's all about whatever, like you said, your internal, what you feel God gave you peace about, and move on. I just don't think he would want you in a situation that's unhealthy or toxic or whatever for the sake of staying together. I think where I find fault at is where people are like, oh, well, he's not beating you, or he's not cheating on you, or he's not, and it's just like, are they, depending on what you like. It's 2023, want to be exclusive, people like what they like. All the things is all right with you. That's your business, as Auntie Tab says. But like, it's almost one of them things where it's just like, well, first of all, you shouldn't be doing none of those things. Like, we talking bare minimum. But why should I stay somewhere where it's almost like marriage is the one relationship you can't outgrow that person? That's what I feel. I feel like it's one of the things where you're told you can't outgrow this person. You just got to figure out how to work with the change. And you can't, you're not supposed to give it, because you are a quitter if you don't, because people change all the time. And if you're going to leave everybody who changes, it's like, well, maybe this isn't working for me. Maybe this isn't the fit for me, and I need to move on. And so if you have kids, really, what are you showing your kids? And so that's a question for you. Like, with you having 2 daughters who are teenagers, like, what do you think you've shown them through this process? Or what do you hope they have maybe saw through this process?
Yeah, that's a good one, because the first time when I threw out the D word, being divorced, that they
you got to specify the D word, because I write romance. So the D word for me in my world means a lot of different things. Well, really just means one thing.
Exactly.
Really one thing. It rhymes with ick. I'm just I'm just saying, for somebody who may not know what D word I'm talking about, it rhymes with ick. That's right. It can be icky too if you don't get it checked out. Anyway, that's off topic. It can be, because dripping dick is not, I hear it's not sexy. Anyway, continue. So off topic. What was my question? Oh, yes.
The first time what am I showing my girls by that? Okay.
Yes, that's the question.
Okay. We got this.
We got it.
Time, I felt like exactly what you said. I wasn't showing them that my needs mattered the first time because I was putting everything in everyone else. Because that, like you said, that union.
Them included.
Yes, that union was more important than who I was as a person. And that's what I think society puts on us.
Tells us.
That
Yes.
like you said, you're not allowed to outgrow anybody. You're not allowed to change or do anything like that. But it obviously didn't work because then, tack on year after year after year, nothing had really changed. Even something I learned with therapy too, because there's kind of a misconception I saw that it seems in society that a marriage is 50-50. And they said, no, it's not. It's 100-100. So either you're both in or you're out, it's not 50-50. I have to be all in and that person has to be all in order if it's actually going to work. And so that was a big perspective shift for me to take because I was like, okay, well, if it seems like this person isn't all in, what am I doing here?
What am I doing? Why am I all in?
Everything. And I'm getting 20% back or 30% back or whatever it is, whatever it is. And it fluctuates sometimes, people can.
Yeah, because I think life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little concession there. But yeah.
But I wonder. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Because I was going to say, I wonder, to be 100% in, does that mean you're entering the marriage, or you should be entering the marriage as a whole person? And by whole, just as far as have dealt with whatever healing you needed to do. Shocker and spoiler alert for those listening, you're not entering nobody's union 100% whole and healed. I tell my single friends that I admire what it is that they're doing, even though it doesn't feel good to them. But I'm just take this time to really, really heal, go through that so that you're not bringing in that type of trauma into your union. And hopefully you'll meet a partner who is also whole and healed as well. So do you think that plays into that 100%?
I think so. I think, you are, you see that too, especially if you've gone down the self-healing journey. You'll see you need to be whole. You need to be within yourself, before you can. Somebody shouldn't complete you, basically, they should be there. You guys come together as your own person. It shouldn't be a codependent situation.
Yeah.
And so I think we get it twisted and we feel like, okay, let me show my love by being completely dependent on this person versus being your own individual soul that can shine just as bright and beautiful as the one next to you, Right. And it's weird too, because I also think there's a stigma with being single, I feel like society values you're not somebody unless you're in a couple situation. And that's something that's been kind of weird because we met when we were 17. So I've never not been.
Oh, y'all were young. Oh.
We were so young. We were babies, lost in a storm.
You guys got caught up in that storm and it just took you down.
It didn't really work. I mean, we had some good times too, but it was. Yeah. We were babies, but now, especially being, so far into it, my girls teens now, it's very strange to be single in this day and age. Yeah.
Well, especially
since I was 17.
Listen. They say it's ghetto out here in them dating streets. Send help. Send help. Send SOS, please, and thank you. Yeah, I hear it's ghetto. So I'm just I guess I'll stay where I am. It looks like it's safe here where I'm at because I remember how ghetto it was when I was in my 20s. I can't imagine what it's like now. And my mom, she's older and she wants to date again, but it's just even the guys that she talks to, how are you lukewarm to the grave acting like this? What is wrong with you? You too old. You're too old. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'll be single for a while.
Right. It might be, listen, but I feel like it's more on us as women to be married. Like if we're not the married one, something's wrong with us. If we're not married, if we don't have children, if you don't have this, then something is wrong with you. Like I don't really see a lot of that conversation around men.
No,
it's
not fair.
Being single. Usually if it's about a man, he's single, they usually, gun for his sexuality, which I always find weird. Like maybe he just ain't found his person. Like mind your business. But for a woman, something's definitely wrong with her.
What's
like
wrong?
If she, like what's wrong with her? Why isn't she married? And maybe she just don't want to be. Maybe she don't want to have kids. I always commend people. I tell people, don't have kids if you don't want them. Please don't.
I'm with you.
Because that's unsexy. Mm-hmm. Don't do that to that child, because that child did not ask for it, and all you do is creating adults who are going to be dysfunctional because you was dysfunctional and you didn't want them to begin with. So tell me, like, what is something you wish you would have known before you got married?
Ooh, before I got married. Maybe like kind of going back to that 100% and staying true to yourself, and to not identify with the marriage, but keep my own identity.
It's so easy to lose ourselves.
Yes. And especially throwing kids, then you're really going.
Oh, you lost at that point, baby. You was in the Bermuda Triangle. You out there now because
Earhart way.
Right. You just gone. I am identified. Listen, I'm identified by each kid's name. Like I'm so and so. I'm Sid's mom, Savvy's mom, James' mom. I'm one of their mom, and that's who I am. But I'm Tanisha.
Yes.
That's me. Like
I'm Shana.
Before them, I had my mom, she named me, just in case you were wondering. I have a whole birth certificate and everything. But yeah, I think that's something I definitely, especially with my girls, no shade to my son, but like really for my girls, I would want them to know that like you got to keep your eye. I don't feel like men lose their identity the same way as women do. I know they do, because they usually do it in their work. That's usually where you see the identity thing. But with women, I feel like you said, it's with when we get a spouse, and then of course when the kids come, that kind of takes over who we are, and then you look up and you're like, yeah. So it's like, how do we get there? So I think for me too, like I think what I've learned. And what I would probably tell my kids is that it's okay if you outgrow somebody. If you feel like this is not, and they could be doing everything right, everything. And that's fine and that's okay. But you get to decide if you want to continue that relationship. You get to decide that if it's like, and it's okay. Like, and you get to walk away. Don't let nobody pressure you to stay somewhere. And you don't have to wait till you're unhappy. You don't have to wait to think. I would rather you not wait till you're unhappy and miserable and feel stuck in a place and in a situation that you can't get out of. Be level-headed and clear and make that decision and have peace with it. Like, I think that's something that I've learned. Like, I love my husband. We've been through a lot, and in our, I would say, young marriage, because we've only been married now 11 years.
That's good.
Yes, girl. And it's been ups and downs. It's been raggedy. Child. But we are still here, still standing. But what I'm finding is, even talking to my other married friends, it's just like, marriage is hard. And I feel like they lied to us.
Oh, they did.
Just like they lied to us about parenting. Liars. Like, you didn't, like, marriage is hard. But you didn't say how hard it was. You didn't say, like, it was really, really me waking up every day, minute by minute, choosing to be with this individual. Like, living with him every single day. Putting up with his shit every single day. Him putting up with mine every single day. Like, that's a lot. Like, to ask of a person, and then you get up there in this altar and you say, till death do us part, I'ma love you. to death do us part, nigga. I don't know if
Yeah.
are you dying tomorrow? Like, that's a long time.
We're talking
Forever,
years from
ever?
now. Yeah.
Right. Like, how far in this are we talking? But that's like the selling point. They're like, this is forever. This is for life. And you like,
They really
I don't
make it
think
seem romantic. Yeah.
they do. And that's, you know what, in my healing journey, that's something I recently learned about what I romanticize. And I come from divorced parents. So my parents got divorced when I was 8. So I don't really know the picture of what a healthy marriage looks like. What a marriage looks like that has the ups and downs and the people know how to fight through or whatever. And they both want to fight.
Right.
And they both want to be in and they both want to stay and they want to keep going. Like, I don't know what that looks like. My husband's parents have been together for like 30 plus years. So that's all he grew up with. Right. And so you put us together and it's just like, there are times I want to put on my shoes, like, I'm out.
Right off into the sunset.
Yeah. Like this look ghetto. But in the back of my mind though, I have this idea though of perfection.
Yeah.
Of what I want to see, of what this deep, true love is. And oh my God, this is like, it's the romance stories that I write and I read. It's what I want to play out in my real actual life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see like all of this. Like, I want the sex like this. I want the all of it, the jobs. I want all the things I'm reading up here in this book.
Life. Yeah.
Translate. But they don't. So they don't write about it. They don't write about the time when your kid gets diagnosed with autism. They don't write about the part where, you got a family member who's sick. They don't write about the part when the bank account is low and you're struggling and all that stuff, because they all end with a happy ending because it's a romance novel. So you have a happily ever for after and all this stuff. And you're just like,
everything's perfect.
But that's the beauty of it. Yeah, but that's the beauty of writing romance. You get to escape real life. But I also think the beauty of real life is that you can technically write your own romance story, even if it meant that you loved yourself first. And by loving yourself first, you chose to leave. Like the quote said, like starting over. So another question I have for you is, and share just what you want to share. What led you to make this decision for the making, I hear that divorce is like death. Like, it's like somebody dying. So like, what led you to make such a decision like that?
It's true. It was a big decision and it weighed really heavy and I wasn't even sure that I was going to do it. So when, COVID hit,
COVID,
good old COVID, I remember like, alcohol was a problem. Like that's another coping mechanism that can get out of control really quickly. And so my sister is my go-to whenever I'm like, I've had it, I need to vent. I'm just like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember talking to her one day after a particularly big fight that I had with my ex. And I was like, this is just getting worse and worse. And she's like, Shana, it's not getting worse. She's like, you've called me before, before COVID, it was like every 3 or 4 months. She said, the only difference now is with COVID, you're calling me every week. And I was like, ooh, okay. So it was another perspective moment that came about.
Yeah.
And there was something I was going to add on to what you were talking about with the 100%, and I lost it. But I was trying to remember.
It'll come back.
It'll come back to me. It was good too, T. I was like, tie into what you were saying. But anyway, going back to it, yeah, it got too uncomfortable for me and it got too regular and it just, based on the history of somebody like, like not willing to change, they it's like a binge change. I don't even know how to say, because there's more than, one form of abuse. Like you can have emotional, you can have physical, you can have financial. Like I learned all this in therapy. And I was like a little surprised.
Therapy's so great.
It's so good for you. And so it was just like reaching a moment. Like if my daughters called me to tell me what I'm telling my sister, what would my advice to them be? Baby, you gotta go. You know, like why are we doing this? Why are we torturing ourselves? Why are we? That was kind of my come to Jesus moment where I was like, God didn't intend for me to do this my whole life. You know, He really didn't. And then it was, and you know, to be fair, I didn't say you got to get out. I said, if you don't leave, I'm taking the girls and I'm leaving. You know, because we can't keep doing this. Like,
this is too much.
It's too much.
COVID claimed a lot of stuff though. Like COVID, let me tell you, either you stayed married or you didn't. It was like a couple of things were going to happen.
Everybody's weakness. You know?
Yeah, everybody, like, you was either, and it's so funny because I felt like all the churches were amped up for 2020. It's going to be the vision year. God is going to help you see clear. And it was like, oh, wait, what is this? Did we just shut down? Why are these kids home every day? Every day I got to parent them.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah, that was, COVID was, she did a lot of things.
Yeah, like
that's what I felt it was. I felt like 2020 did do what it was supposed to do as far as exposure. Like, yeah, you saw things a lot clearer, good, bad, and different. You were going to see. And yeah, it was, for me, that was the year that really kicked off my growth journey, like my healing journey for myself. It was just like, okay, I don't know what's happening here, but I can't keep doing this. It was losing friends. Ironically, my law firm made the most money that year. That was great. Yeah. But it was a good year, a bad year. Like it was a lot in just
there was
one year.
Yeah, one day you could have the best news and then worst news, you know. And I'm like, that was the year that I think that was the year I finally got my agent, you know. But then I got a divorce, and then I got the book, and then I got the, you know.
Right, that's how it would happen. It was like boom.
That's the yo-yo year, you know?
It was. And I'm just like, you know, listen, I knew it was going to be trash ass when Kobe Bryant died. I said, you know what? I don't know where this year is going, but I don't like it. Like, I don't like where we're heading. No. It doesn't seem safe. And it was not. It was. So y'all were a COVID casualty, unfortunately.
COVID casualty. For sure.
What is something you wish you knew about divorce?
About divorce? You know, kind of what I knew is that it's like with everything else. Like, only take advice from those that are where you want to be. So, like, if you, and what I mean by that, because like I got to know some people that had gone through divorce too, but it was really ugly. It was really messy. And again, going back to our identities. So the next thing you know, you're taking on, oh shoot, this is going to be ugly. It's going to be messy. It's going to be expensive versus talking to those. And I realized it's kind of early without really realizing it, but just I naturally navigated to the ones that, oh no, it's fine. You know, it's going to be stressful. It's going to be like, I have a practical friend that went through, another writer friend went through divorce, and she was my guardian angel that just guided me through it. I had a lot of friends that had messy divorces, and listening to them,
you know, they like misery.
Yeah. Let me go back to my practical friend who kept it level-headed, kept it easy, and she didn't deny the emotions, because I would call her crying, I would text her, whatever. She didn't even try to bowl over that by any means. Okay, let it out, Shana. It's going to be fine, you know. But okay, here's what you need to do, you know, or here's what I did, and that made all the difference in the world, T, because she follow the advice. If you need to follow advice, if you're feeling really lost, which you do a lot when you're going through it, you're lost all the time. Back in that Bermuda Triangle,
back in the triangle,
I'm still there. Like, but if you're feeling lost and you know that you need to ask for help, go after the ones that are where you want to be. Like, if they've already gone through the divorce and it was maybe not so much peaceful, but cordial as best as could be, then do that. You know, stay away from the ones that had crazy, expensive, messy, bad custody.
Just messy.
It doesn't help you at all. It won't.
I learned that early on in marriage, like to talk to married people who actually like their spouses.
Yes.
And wanted to stay married, like really made good sense, because it was just like, there's a lot of bitter married people just staying married just to stay married. I don't know why they're married still, like, but they, the way they talk about their spouses or just the way they talk about marriage in general, it's like, well, why did you? Yeah, like what y'all doing over there? It applies though for everything though. Like what you said, that's just good life advice. Like if you want to get somewhere in life, you need to follow or talk to people who been where you've been, but they got good sense. Like, yeah, like it's gonna be stressful, Shana. You're gonna cry. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna be mad. It's gonna get messy, but you're gonna come out on the other side and, and tell you practical things. Here, maybe you open up this savings account, or, put this, like, whatever, like, 'cause there's so many things that go into a divorce. But kind of going back to what you said, you're like, if my daughters called me with this type of situation, what would I tell them? And so my question to you is, for that woman out there, that mama out there who might be battling with this type of decision, what advice or what would you tell her? Like if she was somebody close to you, a daughter, a best friend or whatever, your sister, like what advice would you tell her, she's going through the divorce or even thinking about it? Like what would you share?
That's a good one. That one, yes, it's hard. It's going to be hard. And if it keeps coming up in your mind and you're in a dialogue, or even like if you have a confidant, like I did with my sister initially, and it keeps coming up over and over and over again, most likely you probably need to take that route. Because if it hasn't shut down, then things probably haven't changed for you, or that person hasn't been willing to meet you halfway. I think that's where the 50-50 comes in, a little confusing, because you can still meet a person halfway with 100%, bring it to them, but you guys are coming together, and that's the beauty of compromise or coming together, trying to make something work. And so if you reach a point where you know in your heart that person, that you've already left the marriage, but you decide to stay because you think it's better for the family, that can end up causing more harm than good. And
don't do it.
Don't do it. And it was crazy because that is part of the reason why I didn't leave the first time, because I thought it would have messed up the kids more. And then in hindsight, 2020, I think I ended up hurting the kids more by staying than had I just gone through. And it's not even like, I even hate to say, as a mom, I still struggle to say putting myself first. But when you're on the airplane and they say, put your mask on first before you can help anybody else. It's like, and exactly like what you said earlier, showing my girls specifically, because they are daughters, that you do matter as a person. You do come, should come first. And so by doing this, I finally put myself first. And now it's like the greatest reward to see us all coming out of therapy, coming out of like depression, anxiety, anger. Like we still have it, but I can see where the good came out of it. And as scary as it was, if you just know that dialogue hasn't ended, then it's time for you to make that decision, and it's hard, but you might end up causing more harm than good by not listening to that little voice inside you that's telling you, hey, we need to change.
Yeah, that's so good, because staying for the kids, I think we all, especially as moms, I think will always be that little nudge, that little thing that kind of always holds us as mothers, because we want to be these good moms and we want to make sure our kids know that we love them. And I want this 2-parent home. I don't want you to be broken. I know for somebody like myself, that will probably always be a determining factor for me, coming from divorced parents. I don't think I can help it.
Yeah. You just reminded me what I was going to say, which ties right into that. I'm with you. I came from, my mom was a single mom. Like, she's been married twice, but for the most part, we were raised by a single mom. And the second marriage came after we were already out of the house anyway. But to what you were saying earlier, it's like, my ex's spouse, still married, have been married for 40 some years or whatever. And so I came into this like not having any kind of model other than books, Disney, you know, which is not realistic.
Oh, Disney. Oh, Disney. We love you, Disney, but Lord, today, we got to do better. Got to do better. The expectations start real young.
So young, don't they? And so I had this, so I was with you. So that was also even going back to the quitting. I didn't want to quit because I didn't have it. And I wanted my girls to be raised by their dad, you know, because I never grew up with one. And then, but then, you know, like you said, you got to realize when you outgrow somebody that it's time to move on.
It's time to move. So tell me what this new chapter of life is like for you. Like literally, what is on the other side of this divorce for you? Well, it took me a while to get used to the idea that I come first. And it's catching a lot of steam now, I gotta say. Listen, look at you, hot stuff.
Why was I denying this, you know, all these years?
Why did I deny myself this goodness?
Goodness, right? Other than the mess that the dating world is out there. Which
yes, the really ghetto pool.
Because
they say somebody peed in the pool. Who said that? Somebody said it's like pee in the pool. Somebody pee in the pool. At this point, I think they probably pooping in the pool at this point. I don't even know if it's pee.
All sorts of nasty,
all types of nasty germs in the pool at this point.
Exactly. But okay, so that goes back to our point too of like valuing relationships over just enjoying being single and that stigma, because initially I thought, like, I think my ex, he was dating right away, right? Like he couldn't, which again, after all those years, you're like,
most men always,
exactly.
They think with their Peter whackers. That's why get that little noodle wet.
So,
that's the icky. And then they be looking at the clinic because they got drippy dick, and then now we're here. Now it's icky. Once again, it's icky.
It's icky. So I pushed that aside. And instead of focusing on, I need to find another spouse, I focused on what have I always wanted to do with my life. Yeah. You know, music, learning German, because we lived in Germany. Actually, my oldest was born in Germany. So just learning and exploring, and then a big one, jujutsu.
Oh, Lord.
Jujutsu. It's so fun. It is. I got to say, for any woman out there that is thinking about it and does do it, the way I got into jujutsu was for self-defense, because once he moved out, the other side of divorce. It was like shocking going from somebody that you can come home to, and whether you just want to talk, vent, bitch, gossip, whether they're listening or not, just having that person there, you know, watching football games with, getting used to not making so much food was a huge one too.
Wait till those kids move out.
I'm actually really close to being ready for that one too.
Oh, wait. I'm ready.
Freedom is coming even closer.
Sooner than later.
Oh, I can taste it. Like,
wait, come back.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a really hard adjustment. If anybody out there, like, be prepared to not make as much food, you know?
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that one, that always got me a little sad in the very beginning. You know, just like, okay, it's just 3 of us now, not 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so getting used to sleeping in the room by yourself again, you know. Not that I could sleep a lot too, because, you know, snoring, late nights, like playing video games, TV, phone. Exactly. So it's a different kind of not sleeping, you know.
Yeah. There's no warm body next to you.
Warm bodies, exactly. And then so you hear a little noise, you're like, what's that? Oh, what's this? What's that?
Stranger danger.
Exactly. So so being able to and that kind of goes back too, because there's always this compromise. What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. Now the girls will try to tell me, like, do you want dinner or not? You know, like, this is
not.
What
I mean, you're old enough to, like, feed yourself. So
PBJ.
This is what I cook.
Kitchen, you can assemble if you need.
Listen, a good PB&J.
I mean,
it hits.
I eat that for lunch.
I still eat that. Okay.
I don't know why they're complaining about that. Yeah.
Right. And you don't make dinner for yourself, but soon you will.
Exactly. So
Soon you will, little one. So you like jujutsu? I assume you do like it. I'm just like, am interested. Like now I need to find a class here. Like I need to just go take one class.
just try. When
I'm
you
gonna go.
see it, you're gonna be like, WTF is this?
Yeah, I'll call you like Shana. You was on that shit because I don't know what you signed me up for, but this ain't it.
So good. It is so fun. It is. I remember I was telling my sister because I'm going into 3 years now. I basically started 2 months after the divorce. So that's something that can help too.
That's a long time.
Jump into something right away. And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anybody saying, no, don't do it. Like, they think I'm crazy. Like, you could get hurt.
I feel like you have written my next romance novel.
Oh, I can't wait to
I don't even know. I just feel like I just heard a story drop in my spirit.
Ooh, okay.
This woman jumping into something, not on somebody.
Right.
Into something. Oh, that might be the title of the book. I don't even know. Continue, girl. Continue.
Feel the flow. Just like, oh,
I know. I was like, you're such writers. Like, I heard the story just now.
Writer friends. It's like,
yeah, you find inspo. We get each other. Like, random conversation. Like, that's a book.
Wait a minute, that's a story.
That's a book. There's a story from here. Yeah.
Yep, I love it.
Yep. I like it. I am.
Class. I
say it again.
You're gonna have to sign up for a class just to give it a shot.
I'm gonna find one. I'm sure there's one here in Birmingham, so I'm gonna look and see. Maybe somebody listening wants to offer me a class.
Usually they let you go first week or first class free just to test.
I might need more than just the 1-2 classes. I'm gonna need, I got 3 kids. I'm gonna need all the classes. I'm gonna need at least a goodie. Yeah, make some real money. Then I can come consistently. I come to first 1 or 2 free classes, but after that, I'm gonna need some sponsorships. I'm gonna need a sponsor. That's what I'm gonna need. A sponsor.
If I was there, I would be taking you with me for real.
I would go. I would definitely go because I don't get out the house.
I know, right? Another problem with being a writer.
That's another topic, though.
Yeah, I know. It gets me out of the house because I will stay inside all day, every day, and be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, I think you are doing lovely on the other side. Do you want to get married again? Do you even want to do that? Or are you just like, I might date, get my feet wet or whatever, and then kind of
test the waters, see who I am.
Be careful because I don't want no ickiness. You don't want no ickiness.
I thought about when I first came out, I was like, oh, hell no. I will never get divorced. And every single divorced friend that I know, even the newer ones, on their second, some third marriage, and I said the same thing. So now I'm just like, all right, I will not ever get married again. Because never say never.
Never say never.
Not
but
ever.
I won't ever do this again.
And honestly, I don't know that I want to live with a person again. Like if I do want to have a relationship again down the road. Just somebody to travel with, talk to, go out to dinner with, that kind of
stuff. But y'all don't got to live together.
We don't need to live together anymore. I don't need to. So that person I hope will be of the same mindset. I don't want to be anybody again. I don't want to, I want my refrigerator to look the same way with the same food that I left in there when I come back to it.
I also want my food to be there.
Exactly.
That I left for myself.
Yes.
That you knew wasn't yours when you ate it. Exactly. I might be talking out of experience. Somebody who ate my cheesecake and put a smiley face on it.
Oh no. That's heartless.
It is.
Especially cheesecake. That is my favorite food in the whole world.
And Publix. I haven't plugged Publix in a while. I know people are like, do you be just giving? I don't. I just love Publix, and I feel for people who don't live in the South and don't have a Publix. Because that Publix cheesecake,
it's amazing,
life changing.
I love cheesecake.
I had to have a moment of silence for that.
Especially if somebody ate it and left a smiley face.
And left a smiley face like that made it better.
Wow. Yeah.
It did not. It actually made it worse.
Exactly. Like
It made it worse. You not cute, and what you did wasn't cute. You're ugly, and you your mama's child. And I don't like it.
I know.
Okay.
They'll learn. My teens, they know. Mommy, is this okay for me to eat? Yes, it is, honey. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Thank you for asking.
No, don't touch that. That's mine. But Mommy, no, that's mine.
We're working on that lesson with the children. I just have to get... I got to get the husband on board.
I know. That's one I could never do. That's...
Okay. All right. So there may not be any hope for him.
There.
Okay. Children, I've got there. I eat in front of them now. Now I don't hide it. And I let them watch me eat it and enjoy it.
Isn't it?
It's another moment of bravery. It's like, no,
Yes.
I'm not sharing with you. No, I'm not. I share my body with you. Go away.
Exactly. This is mine.
Can't have my cheesecake. I can't have a No.
No.
You should ask for one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have a... No.
Nope.
What you can do is go read a book.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's taking a lot. I feel a twinge of guilt sometimes, but then when I get to the last bite and as I eat it and it goes down and they watch me with their sad eyes, I'm like, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. One day you too will be brave like mommy, but today
it's mine.
It's not your day. It's all mine. Oh, Shana.
It took me a lot longer before I got to that point.
Yeah, I'm there now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 3 and they're like almost 2 years apart, each of them. So it's like, I think I got there a lot quicker. They're a lot quicker. But
moms of 3. My sister has 3. I just have 2. So those moms.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Moms of 3 is when, so that's when you become a mom of 3, that's when you realize how ghetto life is. And then, because beyond that, they're living the real hood life over there. Yeah. So it's like, we're introductory phase. You 2 kids and 1 kid. Like,
it's cute.
It's cute. It's cute. Get that 3rd kid. Okay. Give you a little spice in your life. Okay. Yes. Then get that 4th. And then after that,
just professional at that point. I met a mom before in Germany, and
Did you pray for
a baby and a toddler at the time. And we went out to dinner, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a circus, but whatever. So we went. We were trying to get out of the house. And she had her husband holding her. She had a baby, a 1-year-old, like a 4 or 5-year-old, and then a 6-year-old. And then she had her husband holding the baby. She the kid's food, the 1-year-old's food, whatever. I don't know. He was a toddler. Chopped up her food, and then she took the baby back, nursed the baby. And I was looking at her like, you chopped up your food too? She's like, when she put the baby on, she said that.
Absolutely. We have a system.
I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a system. Like, because we have mastered this thing. Like, yeah, like.
I was like, you are
I don't miss a meal because of these kids. No.
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't do that.
I was so impressed, T. That's the first time
we're impressive.
You guys are. You really are.
Yeah, because especially if they're close in age like that, you get really good at maneuvering, like, among them. Yeah.
And just
it's
you get that.
Oh yeah, it's never a circus. Yeah. Now they are the circus.
Yes.
Don't let it fool you. Because one day that little boy sat up on the table in that IHOP, and I looked at him trying to figure out who had raised him, because it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I don't stand on tables. I don't do that. Your daddy don't either. And not in public. Not even at home. But God darn, in the IHOP, you just go. He just stood on the table and started yelling, and we just was so stunned. We just looked at him.
What's happening here? Yeah.
I said, "What is?" And I think that's what it was. It was a shock. Yeah. It was just shock that he's standing on the table and he's not crying. He's just talking to the people across from us.
It's just a moment, like, what happened?
Yeah, I had to take that in. I had to let that simmer, because I was like, he's raised by a pack of wolves at this point. I don't know who raised him.
Maybe that's the difference with boys and girls too. Well, I don't know.
No, those girls are wild. Now my girls is wild too. Nah, that middle child.
Yes.
Kid number 2.
That's one you've got, right?
She's the best one because, listen, she's not ignored. She's not neglected. She is who she is, though. She won't let you, so you won't have to worry about that. She ain't gonna let you neglect her, forget her. That's a strong. Yeah, anybody who meets that one, they think she's the oldest sometimes because of how she acts. Like she is, she's the one.
The little power source.
Yep, that's what we'll call it. Yep, sure. Power source, whatever. Because I'm a weird number. Like I'm the third child, but I have a sister under me. There's 4 of us, so I'm like I was the baby though for so long before she was born. So I still have my own complex. I still act like the baby, even though there's a baby. And then like I don't really have the middle child syndrome because I didn't experience it. So like, yeah, you know.
Just that odd.
I'm just that weird line. But yeah, girl. Well, this has been great. So, okay, if people want to connect with you, are you on Beyonce's internet, aka the socials? How can one find you?
I am on. I don't really do Facebook anymore, so I'm not so much on that one. But I'm on Instagram. Instagram. They can find me at the Shana Keller. I stole that from
y'all. Heard you heard that? Yeah. I would say she's at the Shana Keller.
I need to get that because I did Ohio State, but I never did. But it's fine.
But we're not going to talk about that because we Alabama fans over here, so we're not going. But also, I'm supporting my Rattlers today, my FAMU Rattlers. Because I went to school there in Clark, so shout out to my HBCUs. But yeah, we're not going to talk about those the Ohio State people. We roll tide over here, honey. We roll with the tide. Stay respectful if you want to come back. Okay, remember that.
I'll never forget it.
Don't do it. Okay, so at the Shana Keller on Instagram. Are you there on Twitter as well? The same?
Dude, I'm on what is it? It's
Twitter.
Shana Keller at Twitter.
Shana K.
Okay. Keller. So there's 2 people.
And we'll put it all in the show notes and everything. But this has been most fantastic. Are you working on any projects that you can actually talk about?
Yes, I am. And I can finally say it'll be out this year because last year. It's
debut year for all of us, isn't it?
So excited. It's going to be another picture book, and it's going to be
beautiful
during. It's another African American history one, which I'm really
excited about.
And it's going to be. It takes place after Reconstruction, so right after the Civil War, and it's the story of a little girl who's trying to find her family. And
sweet.
I think.
Okay, so you guys can pre-order and all the things now, right?
I don't know if we're that far out. It won't be out until December.
Okay, so no pre-order campaigns yet, but it's coming.
It'll be on my website whenever I get their links or whatever.
All the links and stuff. Okay, awesome. And what's the name of the book?
It's going to be called "Do You Know Them?"
Do you know them? I don't, but I can't wait to know them. I can't wait to know them.
And I can't wait to see all your books.
I know, because my kids' books are all coming out first, and then hopefully I'll finish this adult novel. And I'm working on it. So we slowly cranking it out so I can live out my romance fantasies. But yes, I'm so grateful you came to talk to me today.
It was so
this was good.
I appreciate it so much.
Yes, friend. Yes, likewise. Well, y'all, it has always been real. Y'all know how we do. I hope you follow Shana on the Twitter. Her name is spelled like Shana, just FYI. And I've called her Shana when I first met her for like at least 6 months. And I was like, Shana. And she's like, fine. She's like, T, it's Shana. I'm like, oh, my bad. God bless. But it has been real, y'all. And we will catch you on another fantastic episode. But until then, stay safe, stay amazing. And we'll see you on the other side, mama. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.